Welcome to Bloggers Creating Courses, the podcast which will take you behind the scenes of creating an online course. I'm your host, Verity Songon, founder and education consultant of veritysongon.com. I'm so excited to help you create an online course that you are proud of and to be part of your journey to scale your business as an online course creator. Let's get into the episode. Welcome back to another episode of Bloggers Creating Courses, and in this episode we are going to be talking about 8 ways that you can sell your online course. And the great thing about these 8 tips is that they are all completely free, or relatively free, incredibly cheap. But on the whole, if you've already got a blog going, you've already got your email list, then these tips that I'm going to go through are free on the whole. So 8 tips, let's dive into them. First of all, put your links on social media. This might be a bit of an obvious one, but it's amazing how many people turn around and say, well, I'm really embarrassed. I don't want my family and friends to know that I've created this online course. Well, if you don't want them to know, then how do you expect to promote your course? It seems like a little bit of a no-brainer to me, but put your links on social media, on your Facebook, your Twitter, your whatever it is that you use. Make sure you've got your links there. You don't know who in your personal social circle might actually want to purchase your online course. So make sure your links are on your social media. And that's also things like your link in bio, your header at the top, whatever it is that you're using for your social media. Make sure that there is a link to your online course, or at the very least, a link to your website, where when somebody hits onto your website, there's a massive banner, a call to action somewhere that will direct people to your online course. The great thing about putting links on social media is that they are completely free. Your link in bio on your Instagram, your link in bio and TikTok, your website, putting that in your description on your Facebook or LinkedIn pages, absolutely 100% free. So it's marketing with no cost to you there. Second way of selling your online course is leveraging your email marketing list. But don't go in for necessarily a hard sell straight away. People on your marketing list, on your subscriber email lists, you might need to warm up to them a little bit first. So make sure that you are using a freebie so that people understand what you are worth and that they actually like your teaching style before you go in for the hard sell. So make sure that you give them a freebie first, they get used to you, and also, most importantly, by giving somebody a freebie, you're going to get their email address in return, and that email address could spell $signs for you. Using your email marketing list is a great way of selling your course to the people who already know you, who already trust you. They've given you their email address, they want to be in contact with you, and they want you to communicate with them. So tell them as soon as your course has dropped, but don't just tell them once. Equally, don't go in for all this massive hard sell where you're selling to them every single day. But once your course has dropped, tell them. And then maybe in another couple of weeks, remind them. Another couple of weeks after that, remind them again. Make sure you've got some kind of follow-up strategy. So if somebody did miss your email, maybe they deleted it by accident, maybe it ended up in their junk box, their spam box, wherever. But make sure that you've got follow-up so you're not just telling people about your course once on your email list. Equally, on the flip side, make sure you're not telling them so much that you bombard them with emails and people just think that all you're trying to do is sell to them, because that will just make people want to unsubscribe. But again, depending how many people you have on your subscription list, this could be a free way of marketing. You've got loads of email platforms out there. You've got MailChimp, MailerLite, ConvertKit, which is what I currently use. They've all got free plans up to a certain amount of subscribers. So again, this could be a really cheap, if not free way of you getting the message out there about your online course. Third way of selling your online course, and this is slightly linked into number 2, but have a soft warm up to selling your online course to your email list. If you've already got a seasoned mail list in place and seasoned list of subscribers, give them free information about your course before you go into the hard sell. So you've already given them your freebie, which is how you got them to subscribe to you in the first place, but continue to give them information which is of value, which is valuable content to them. I'm not saying you have to email absolutely every day, but it might be once a week or once a month, whatever fits for your schedule. You send everybody on your subscriber list an email which gives them valuable content, because not only is that building up their trust and their rapport with you, but you're also getting into people's inbox. You're telling people, I am worthwhile listening to and I can give you valuable information. And if people are enjoying the content that you're sending them via email, they are more likely to convert into a seller, a customer, and then a student for your online course. But it's a good way to warm people up to buying from you in the first place. The fourth way of selling your online course is to be present on social media. I've already talked about having links to your course in your bio or on your feed, wherever it's relevant, but make sure that you've got your links as well available in your comments. So if you're putting up a post on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever it is, make sure that in the comments somewhere there is a link that people can copy and paste into their browser or click on to get through to your online course, because that's just going to help promote your course. It's going to help people get right through. Remember, people are lazy, which sounds horrible, but I'm as lazy as the next person when it comes to social media. We want things dropped in our lap. We want things easy for us to access. What we don't want to be doing is finding something on social media, having to try to remember the name. 5-10 minutes later, we've forgotten it. We're going off to the internet to try and find whatever that course was that we found or that we'd found earlier or thought of earlier. We don't want to be going back onto social media and scrolling to try and find the information about the course that we had read about 10 minutes earlier. What we want is to be able to click on something to get through to that course immediately. We want to pique our potential customer and potential students' interest as quickly as possible and get that sale, or at least get our students or potential students into our sales funnel as quickly as possible. So make it easy for students to land on your course page and to get into your sales funnel. Make sure that you have got clear call to actions on your posts on social media. So what do you actually want your student to do? Don't just say, here's my online course. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to subscribe to your mail list so that when your course drops, they get that information straight to their inbox? Do you want them to sign up for a free masterclass, which is then part of your sales funnel to getting that customer to buy your course eventually and become a student? Or do you want them to go straight to your sales page and purchase your course? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, but make sure that there is a clear call to action, because otherwise people just keep on swiping, they are scrolling, they don't pay attention, and they won't do something unless you clearly tell them to. Make sure as well, things like in your reels, your videos, whatever it is that you're using, it's not just static posts. Make sure there is a clear call to action at the end, telling your potential students exactly what you want them to do. My fifth tip for selling your online course is go live on your social platforms. So either on Instagram, on TikTok, whatever it is that you're using, but go live. It doesn't matter if only 5 people, let's say, are listening. I mean, if 1,000 people are listening, great. But equally, on the flip side, if 1,000 people are listening and none of them are interested in your product, you might as well just be talking into the wind. But even if you're only talking to 5 people, well, if only one of those people goes and buys your course, you've still made a sale for maybe 5 minutes of your time maximum. And equally, if you're only talking to 5 people, but all 5 of those are interested in your product, brilliant, you've sold to the right 5 people. But go live stream. It makes people realise that you want to be showing up for them. You can give them value. Don't just turn up and be like, you have to buy my course. This is what's in my course. Tell people what you can give them, what you can offer them. And at the end of your course, or by taking your course, what are they going to be achieving? So make sure you're live streaming, absolutely invaluable. If you've got a blog, make sure on your blog, this is my 6th tip, but on your blog, make sure that you are including articles which are relevant to your course. So it might be that you have got a seen a question on Google, because we should be using Google and search engine optimization to write our blog posts. That's a talk for a different day. But if you're noticing that there are lots of keywords and search terms around a certain question which your online course provides an answer for, it could be really powerful to actually write a blog post around that particular topic. It might not cover everything to do with your online course. It might just advertise part of your online course, but as part of that blog post, you can then link through to your course. You can explain to readers that this blog post solves a little bit of the information that they want, or gives them a little bit of information they want, but actually if they hop on over, take your masterclass or purchase your course, whatever it is, then they're going to be getting a lot more information which could be beneficial to them for getting their overall answer they want to this question. In your blog post as well, even if you've got a blog post which doesn't quite meet the same criteria as your online course, make sure that you do advertise it somewhere in that blog post. So for example, if you look at my blog posts, I might have a blog post about e-learning, which is something quite generalized, maybe traditional versus classroom learning, for example. One of my courses is my online course toolkit, and within that online course toolkit, I very briefly just go through different types of equipment and softwares that individuals will need to put together their online course, their first online course. That particular course doesn't really lend itself very well to me talking about traditional versus online or e-learning in principle. However, what I can do is have an advert for my online course, pop it maybe at the end of that blog post, because I'm still promoting my course. I'm not saying that there's a direct link, there's a roundabout link, it's all in the online course and e-learning space, but the advert is still there if it piques somebody's interest for them to follow through there. So utilize adverts on your own blog as much as possible. And if you don't have a blog, as long as you've got a website, I would highly recommend having a blog on there. There is so much value in blogging about your services and having a blog which relates to your online course, which I'm actually thinking of doing a separate episode on that, on how blogging can benefit your online course. So if you think that would be beneficial to you, or if you've got any questions around how a blog can benefit your online course, do let me know. Hopefully, because this podcast is called Bloggers Creating Courses, hopefully you've already got a blog in place already. But if you're just starting out, you might not have your blog in place at all. You might just have this concept of creating an online course or a blog, in which case drop me with any questions that you might have around how your potential blog, or even your blog that you've got at the moment, how that could be used to leverage sales for your online course, because I'd love to do an episode around that, but I want to make the content valuable to you. So make sure that you message me on Instagram, find me at Verity Songon, message me on Instagram with any questions about how blogging can relate into selling your and promoting your online course there. Right, my 7th tip for selling your online course, leverage YouTube, which I'm sure as soon as I've said that, a lot of people have immediately thought, oh my God, I don't want to go onto YouTube, Verity. I hate YouTube. I love watching YouTube, but I hate the idea of filming myself and putting myself out there. But if that's you and you don't want to film yourself for YouTube, that's fine. Use an explainer video. You can create explainer videos either on free plans, and yes, there might be a little logo in the corner to show which platform you used for that explainer video. But explainer videos are brilliant. They entice people in, and they're great if you don't want to show your face. And if you do want to show your face, brilliant. Set up a backdrop somewhere. Get a video made, pop it on YouTube, and follow it up with several videos as well. And you could repurpose content from your blog here as well. You can repurpose content from your social media as well, and from your live streams. Very similar content. It's just putting it on a different platform and therefore potentially reaching a different audience there. But from your YouTube, in your description box, make sure that there is a link going back to your online course, going back to your website, linking people into your sales funnel, however you want that to work. But make sure that there are links going back into your online course. And finally, my 8th tip for selling your online course is to link in with the local media, particularly if your course has got relevance to where you currently live and your potential audience are around you. Linking in with the local media can be so beneficial. What I did with the clients in previous was actually got their courses promoted on their local radio, and the reason I did that was because their students were local to where the online courses were created for that business. So whilst not everybody's online course will work being promoted through local media, through the local radio or what have you, depending on where your audience is, the local media can be really beneficial. And what I find for a lot of local media production companies is they want to help local businesses as well. So they will come up with slots for you to utilize. Worst case scenario is you reach out to them and you don't hear from them at all. But reach out to the local media, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to help if possible. So I hope that you found those 8 tips useful for ways to sell your online course. We've gone through 8 top tips, and just to recap those, first tip was linking on social media. The second was having an email marketing list. The third, making sure you have a soft warm-up so you are encouraging people to trust you and to onboard from you, and using those people on your email list to sell to. Fourth, be present on social media. 5, get on board with live streaming. 6, utilize the blog on your website. 7, use YouTube videos to link back to your course. And 8, if it's relevant to your course, use the power of your local media, because it really can make a huge difference. If you have enjoyed this episode, which I really hope you have, I would really appreciate it if you could drop me a review in whichever platform it is that you are using to listen to this podcast. Reviews are really useful because they tell the platform that you are listening to this podcast on that this podcast is worth listening to. It helps increase my engagement and it helps increase my reach for this podcast so that we can get into as many ears as possible, so that we can help more people and more bloggers get their ideas for their online course rolling and get those online courses created. I really hope you've enjoyed it, as I said, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Happy content creating.